In 60 days, I made over $75,000 in profit selling products on Amazon merchant fulfilled. In this video, I'm going to give you a full steps A to Z Amazon merchant fulfillment tutorial for 2025. I'm going to go over how FBM works, the benefits, and why you should be doing merch filled in 2025, FBM shipping costs, merch filled shipping templates, showing you good examples of good merch filled products and everything in between. Let's get right into it. So you always hear people talk about selling products via Amazon FBA, but Amazon FBM is fulfillment by merchant where you ship products directly to the customers individually, rather than Amazon FBA where you ship products off in bulk to the FBA warehouse. Luckily, you can do Amazon FBA and FBM at the same time on the same account, even on the same product, and FBM is really good for beginners. The big pros of FBM is that you can fulfill the items a lot faster because you don't have to wait for them to actually check into the FBA warehouse. When you send an FBA shipment, especially as a beginner, typically it's going to take between 1 and 2 weeks to actually check in. So it can take a while for you to see if that was actually a good purchase. Meanwhile, when you merchant fulfill a product, you can order it from a website and literally get it listed the day it arrives and potentially get sales a lot faster. And more importantly, also learn a lot quicker, which is why I really like FBM for beginners. You can also test products a lot lighter because you don't need to fill a full box of products to save money on shipping, because with FBA, you can get your cost down a lot by filling entire boxes. But the cool thing is with FBM, you're just putting them individually in each package. It also has faster cash flow and scales super nice. I've made a ton of money during back to school and Q4 season, especially when I was a newer seller, getting in a really nice rhythm, restocking products fast with FBM, and you also get paid quicker with FBM too. The key, guys, is that not every item you can actually go ahead and FBM on, and I'm going to show you guys how a little bit later in this video. So it's really, really important that you watch through this entire thing. We're also going to get into the shipping costs, and a lot of beginners just kind of screw that up. So it's really important you take a look through the entire video. It's also super useful for seasonal items when there's like demand is really compressed on like candy during Halloween, or back to school products during back to school, or holiday products and toys during the fourth quarter of the year when there's a ton of holidays going on and there's a ton of demand and you don't want to wait for those FBA check-ins to go through. Also, when you do FBM, you don't pay those FBA fees, which can make certain items more profitable. You do pay the individual shipping costs, though. So when you FBA, you don't pay individual shipping, but you do pay FBA fees. And when you FBM, you don't pay FBA fees, but you do pay individual shipping. Both of those are based on size and weight. They tend to be the same thing, honestly. But later in this video, I am going to show you guys an example of a product that is significantly more profitable via FBM compared to FBA. And you're going to miss a lot of profitable products if you don't do what I'm about to show you guys in that section. In terms of shipping supplies for merch filled, super, super simple, guys. The first thing you're going to need is actually shipping labels that are going to go and just put on the package or the box. You can actually get these free via the UPS website. I believe the sizing is 4¼ by 5.5. All you have to do to get to that, guys, is just Google UPS free shipping supplies and follow the instructions on their website, and they'll send you big like toilet paper roll styles of them. You can even email and get bulk of them too right there. So make sure you get those. And then I also like using these poly mailers in gray or black, which you can get on Amazon. Obviously, it depends what size products you're selling, but I like 9 by 12 and 12 by 15 primarily for those. You can get those on Amazon. The cool thing is, guys, that's really it besides boxes. You do not need these SKU labels. These SKU labels are only for FBA. So there's no fancy labeling. All you need is polymers and those shipping labels. The shipping labels you can get for free on the UPS website. And then for boxes, I like to use these Pen Gear ones you can go ahead and get at your local Walmart. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about even getting these prior to starting to sell some products FBM because you don't know what products you're going to go ahead and be selling, what sizes they're going to be. So once you get some orders in, then go to your local Walmart and get these boxes. You can also get boxes from, any other retailer. You just want to make sure that they don't have any branding on them. And when you FBA products, you totally can do any box you want, even if they have retailer branding on them, because they're just going to FBA. However, these are boxes customers are actually going to be getting for merchant fulfilled. So you want to make sure that they have no branding on, like see, they're just nice and blank. Right? So that's why I really like these Walmart ones, but any unbranded boxes are going to work for merch filled. If you want to get bulk ones, I really like boxes from Uline as well for merch filled products. So nice and easy. Don't overthink shipping supplies, guys. Super simple. Shipping templates for beginners. So this is what you actually want to charge for shipping when you're doing merchant fulfilled orders. To get this set up correctly, guys, you just go in your shipping settings, which you can find in the top right, the gear menu on Amazon Seller Central, then hit shipping settings, then hit change your shipping templates right here. I'd recommend charging $0 for free and economy orders. Remember, guys, there's no FBA fees, but you are paying individual shipping. So it typically ends up being about the same thing right there. And then for next day, 2-day, and expedited orders, you want to do $30 plus $1 per pound. And then during big seasonal times of the year, you can totally raise those. Like during December, a lot of people charge $40 plus $1 per pound or $50 plus $1 per pound. Buyers pay a ton of extra money for last minute packages, and all of those is extra profit that just gets added to your bottom line. In your shipping settings, I'd also recommend doing 0-day handling time if possible. That's going to move it up where you have to ship your products quicker. You set a cutoff time. You just go and hit gear menu top right, then shipping settings, then general shipping settings, and then ideally, if possible, move your handling time to 0. That's going to help you get a lot more buy box share, as it's going to display your delivery dates to customers sooner, which is going to incentivize Amazon to give you the buy box more, even over FBA sellers potentially if your delivery dates beat them. So that's what you guys want to go ahead and do for your shipping templates and your handling time, if at all possible, for 0-day. Honestly, I've actually spent a lot of time in 2-day handling time when I'm scaling up during Q4. However, as a beginner getting going in the buy box algorithm, I do love 0-day handling time if possible. Just make sure you can actually get those products sent out same day if the orders come in prior to your cutoff time. This is incredibly important, guys. I want to show you guys what good FBM products look like and what products you would not be able to FBM look like too. Because the key is, guys, Amazon wants to give the buy box to FBA sellers more because they make more in fees. Because when you FBA something, you do pay those FBA fees, but when you FBM something, you don't. So Amazon wants to give the buy box to FBA sellers, but sometimes there's not enough FBA sellers, and that FBM sellers are totally able to get the buy box. And remember, guys, you can do both at the same time, even on the same product on the same account here. So if we take a look at this item right here, we can see this is actually an example of a product that is not going to be able to be FBM'd, most likely. And the reasoning on that is because there's no FBM sellers on this. We can see there's 11 sellers and they're all FBA, right? I do recommend you guys go ahead and watch my SellerAmp and Keepa full tutorials on my channel if you haven't already as well. And go into your SellerAmp settings and make sure your offer summary is selected right here. That's very important, so you can go ahead and see how FBM friendly or not FBM friendly an item is. We can see this is entirely FBA seller, so there's a very, very small chance we could get the buy box FBM on this. And then I further validate that too, guys, by taking a look over time and seeing if there's any FBM sellers that are getting buy box over the past 30 days. The way I go ahead and do that is I go here and hit data and then buy box statistics right here. And then I want to go ahead and see if there's any FBM sellers that have gotten buy box in here, aka that don't have this FBA check mark. We can see the past 30 days, there's been no FBM sellers that have gotten buy box. Every seller has the FBA check mark here. So this is an example of something that I would not be able to FBM, most likely. This next item right here, we can see, taking a look at the offer summary, we can see there's 8 sellers on this. 3 of them are FBA and 5 of them are FBM, which means this item totally is going to be FBM friendly. So the first place you look to see if something can be FBM is the offer summary on SellerAmp. And the second place you want to take a look is the buy box statistics on Keepa, hitting data, and then buy box stats right here. Right. And then what I also like to do is I'll go ahead and click here, FBA to filter, and then we can see, yeah, in this case, like 50% of the buy box share is going to sellers that do not have that FBA check mark, which means they're FBM. If you want a good rule of thumb, I typically say somewhere between like 20% plus FBM buy box share means you're going to be able to go ahead and FBM something. And then if we take a look at this item right here, we can see this item is entirely FBM seller. So we know we would automatically totally be able to FBM this. Pro tip though, if you do come across a listing that is all FBM sellers or predominantly FBM sellers, you can totally price up if you want to FBA it and take advantage of what's called the prime bump. When you FBM, I typically recommend just matching current buy box, but when you FBA, especially on a listing where you can see a lot of sellers FBMing, you can price 5 to 10% higher, because remember, Amazon wants to give you that buy box share as an FBA seller. But there's totally tons of money to be had FBM stuff, and we can see that on these listings that have sellers carrying these products FBM, right? And then we check the buy box stats, and we can see totally in this case that it is totally FBM friendly. Right here we can see, yeah, only 5% going to FBA sellers, and we can see that's Amazon in this case right here. Now I want to show you guys how to actually calculate FBM shipping costs when you're estimating profits. This is something almost every beginner gets wrong. So guys, a lot of sellers think that if you take a look at the profit calculator here, the way you calculate profit when you're sourcing products for FBM, which by the way is the exact same methods as FBA, all you do is just subtract the shipping costs from here. That's absolutely not true. What you actually want to do is you want to scroll down here on SellerAmp to where we can see the profit calculator right here. And then we want to toggle where it says fulfillment type. We want to toggle that to FBM. And then what we want to do is go ahead and plug in estimated FBM shipping costs where it says FBM costs right here. The first step to go ahead and find that really quick is scrolling up here and figuring out the weight on this product. We can see this item weighs 14 ounces here. And now I want to show you guys a guide on how you know what to actually plug in here for the FBM cost. So this is general guidelines right here. I really recommend taking a screenshot of this or printing it out. Eventually you'll memorize it, but it's very important here. For FBA, right, you typically just want to plug in 80 cents per pound in your SellerAmp settings. However, for FBM, you do actually have to go ahead and plug in the FBM cost based on weight for each product right here, right? So these are the general guidelines. Under 1 pound is typically going to be USPS. Above 1 pound is typically going to be UPS, but you're just going to figure that out when you're buying every order within Amazon. Occasionally, though, when you're actually buying shipping, Amazon's going to charge you a lot. Just buy shipping on Pirate Ship in that case. But this is purely what you're actually going to plug in for the estimates on the profit calculator, which is so on and so forth right here. So 0 to 3, this cost, so on and so forth. So make sure you guys take a picture of that. And now let's go ahead and plug it in. So that product we were just taking a look at weighs about 14 ounces. So it's probably going to ship for like $6 on average. So plugging in $6 right here, we can see FBM, it's a 65% ROI, but if we toggle back to FBA, it's only a 53% ROI, and you're going to miss so many profitable products, guys, if you're not using that FBM calculator correctly and actually toggling down to FBM and then plugging in the shipping costs right there and getting the exact profit after shipping, fees, sales tax, literally everything. And that's the full guide to merch fill, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe for more. You can check out my full free guide right here. If you guys want personalized help directly from me, now's also a great time to apply for my coaching program. If you want direct help, my personal phone number, 3 group coaching calls per week, all your individual one-on-one questions answered. We also have a one-on-one call together on Zoom. So take a look at that at the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.